Melodee Meyer, it's such a pleasure to have you today for this interview with the Game Changer. I'm just delighted to finally really get to meet you one-on-one and have this conversation.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This is awesome.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
Well, my name is Melodee Meyer, and I actually work with speakers, coaches, and entrepreneurs, and I help them write a book to really build value to their customers and attract more of their ideal customers and really boost their brand and let people know what their values are about and what they really want to do in the world.
Well, you're doing an important work. That's something that's really, really necessary for business owners, because a book is something that is really a showcase of who they are and what they're all about.
Yeah, people get to know them on a more personal level, which I think is what makes you get customers for life.
Right. And I say that you're a book that even for this purpose is kind of that step in the door. You know, it's that it's a little bit of an expensive business card.
Yeah, exactly. No, it is.
But people have the general public's view of authors is that they must know something if they're an author.
Yeah. Well, and you know what I've found too, you probably have found this as well, is that when people write, they start getting their ideas more in order. Like they might know a lot, they're experts usually, they're so used to the way that they communicate regularly. And when they have to put it down on paper, it helps organize it and makes it more digestible actually for their ideal customer.
Yes, and actually it changes a lot of things, because when you have to put it down on paper, that's a whole different ballgame than speaking. You know.
Yep, no, for sure.
Why did you feel it was important to take part in this Game Changer series? This is the third in their series, and what made you decide to make that, to write your chapter?
Well, what about that title? Game Changers. Like, I just love the whole idea of it. I myself have put together compilation books before, and I just know the power of short stories where we really get to like hear, pivotal moments in people's lives. A lot of times you read a whole book and there's only one part of it that is that pivotal moment, and it's the one with the most drama and the most interest, really. And so when you have a compilation book of those pivotal moments, I think it's very inspiring. There's usually a story there that anybody can relate with. So I just felt it was my job really to add my story to a group of really amazing people that and that perhaps my story could help inspire someone that was reading and really help make a difference in their life too.
That's beautiful. And as somebody that's done the editing on this book, the stories have been amazing. Very, very, very touching.
I've read some. I know, it's so great. I know.
It's really cool. So what is something that related to your chapter that maybe you didn't include in the book that you might want to share? A few extra little juicy details.
Well, it is a very short chapter and I've led a very long life. So I really could have gone on for quite a while, but I'll tell you something. My story is about a domestic violence situation that I was in a relationship that I was in. And I actually was thinking the other day about how did I get into that situation? I learned a lot from it. And I can't even say I'm sorry that it happened, because a lot of good came from it. But how did I get there? And so I started doing some writing around what was my journey into that relationship where I felt like I had to be in that relationship. So I don't cover any of that in our short stories that we did for the book. But what I learned when I was investigating that further is that I really had pretty low self-esteem as far as relationships went. I didn't have any experience in relationships. In fact, I'd never really dated anyone or, kissed anyone or been with anybody before. And my sisters were always had boyfriends, and my mom and dad were madly in love. And I just thought, well, I guess I'm too tall, or I'm too big, or I'm too loud. And I thought there was something wrong with me. And so when I finally met a man who paid attention to me and he thought I was great, then I jumped right in and committed very, very fast. And then I also, when things started to get pretty ugly, I thought, oh my gosh, well, I can, it's funny, it was kind of a toss up between having low self-esteem and having very high self-esteem to think that I could actually change this person. Right? Right. Love will make, will heal all kind of idea. So I stuck in there probably a lot longer than I should have, but that's because I also didn't have support and all the things that I talk about now in my work about what we need to help each other. But yeah, so I didn't really, he was the first guy that I really was with, and like I say, I don't really regret it. People do ask me now, what happened to him? Well, he went into a hospital and he got the help that he needed. And I was able to take care of my sons and move on from that relationship.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, it happens to a lot of us,
Yep.
and having come from a background where there was a lot of abuse as I grew up as a child, when you first get into relationships as an adult, you don't have a framework for what is really good and healthy, and you don't have the self-esteem that is so very important. And yes, we all think we can just change anybody, just love will conquer all, and it doesn't. Not in those kind of situations. So so then your main message for those that are going to be reading this book, and in particular your chapter, is what?
Well, that we all have the power to really reinvent our life at any time, and that we're not victims, that we actually, all we have to do is take responsibility for where we're at without blame or judgment, but just go, wow, this is where I am and I don't want to be here. And not just in a situation, but like where I am in my life. And anyone can do this at any time, right? Like when it comes to their career, it's not just about relationship. It could be in any aspect of which you're not happy. It could be, I work with a lot of people on their body image and people who want to lose weight and those kinds of things. It's like, well, if we take responsibility for where we're at right now, then we have the power to actually reinvent our entire life by making some different choices and just stepping through that, So that's really my message. It's the mission of my life, really, to help. I love working with women on making those changes and those adjustments in their life so that they can really have the life of their dreams, really. We all deserve that.
That's beautiful. Looks like you have a little buddy there.
I do. This is Fletchy. Hi, Fletchy.
It's cute.
That's my baby now.
So what's the best way people can connect with you?
Well, I love social media, so people can find me on Facebook. Of course, I have a really interesting Facebook group called Mission Driven Entrepreneurs, and so you can catch me there. And of course, at my website, melodeemeyer.com.
The website is what?
melodeemeyer.com, but I do spell my name very strange. Melodee has 2 E's at the end, and then Meyer. There's lots of E's in this name, melodeemeyer.com.
That's cool.
And I also love Instagram. I'm not going to lie, I have several Instagram accounts because I love taking photos, and I've got one just dedicated to my food, of all things, but that's because there was just not enough room on my regular Instagram account.
How fun. That is beautiful. Well, I'm sure that those that are hearing this message from you and reading your chapter will want to connect with you. So thank you for a great, great interview.
Well, I hope they do. And that's really another part of the book, is that we all need each other.
We do.
We all need to support one another. And so if anyone reads that and it resonates with them and they need support, that's what I'm here for.
Beautiful.
For sure.
Thank you. Awesome.
Thanks.